Hello everyone. Sometimes strange things that are impossible to explain happen in life. Magic? Presumably it doesn't exist. Coincidence? No, the odds are 1 in a million or less. In today's video, we've collected examples of good luck, as well as the strangest coincidences we've ever found. Well, it's time to be amazed. Let's get it on. On March the 7th, 2016, sports photographer Christopher Horner posted 2 photos of a baseball game in Orlando. The photo shows a man who managed to save a child from being hit by a baseball bat at the last second. It was later discovered that they were Sean Cunningham and his son Landon. Sean works as a firefighter and as a young man played on a baseball team. Thanks to his excellent reaction, he was able to protect the child's face from a strong blow in time. Of course, some people on the internet were upset because Landon was playing on the phone instead of enjoying the game, but let's see the timeline. During the game, the bat was released from the hands of a Pittsburgh Pirates player and flew into the audience. At the time, Landon was looking at his phone, trying to send his mother a picture of the match via Facebook. Thank goodness the father reacted in time, but imagine the shock experienced by Landon's mother, Ashley Cunningham. Her husband told her that a small incident occurred during the game, but she had no idea how serious it was until she saw the photo. In 2018, a strong 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck Alaska. Underground shocks of this magnitude can cause serious damage to normal buildings and completely destroy older ones. No wonder the earthquake damaged some roads that crumbled like cookies and moved like waves. Luckily, the earthquake occurred at dawn, and there was no need to assess the damage in the dark. Although it was early enough, there were already people on the roads, people who could have died, if they hadn't been lucky. Look at this red car. Its owner should have bought a lottery ticket that same day. Remember those scenes where movie characters kiss and suddenly the fireworks start in the background? Beautiful. Well, there are no kisses here, just a friendly handshake, but the fireworks are a must-have.
And you know these games are going to be hard-fought.
During a match, Canadian hockey player Steve Sullivan was hit hard in the face with a stick. The injury was so serious that Steve had to go to the bench, but suddenly one of the spectators decided to joke. It's not clear what the guy said, but it was definitely not good, as he was touching his nose where Steve was hit and smiled widely. Soon the hockey player returned to the game, but suddenly the laws of karma worked. The puck flew over the barrier and hit that very same guy, right in the face. Coincidence?
Bonk, it hits something, and now Sullivan comes over. This is the fan, the same fan who was giving Sullivan a hard time. And that's
In baseball, it's important to keep an eye on the ball, because victory depends on it. That's what young athletes are taught, to watch the ball carefully. But no one told us that if you don't, you can miss one of the most incredible coincidences of your life. In this case, the young baseball player hits the ball, which bounces off the wall and returns to the same place. No wonder the kid didn't immediately realize what had happened. He had to watch the video several times to understand what had happened. So, let's see it again. Can a usual coach have magic powers? What if he coaches the Exeter City Club? Matt Taylor seems to have developed the ability to turn off the lights with his hand. This strange incident occurred during an interview in 2017. It seems that Taylor was only trying to chase away an annoying moth, but we know that that was just an excuse. No wonder Exeter had only conceded 4 goals at the time of the interview. Taylor had obviously placed a force field around the goal. This vintage video was recorded in 2009, but that doesn't make it any worse than the rest. Cal Fadem and Warren Strickler lived together and were playing ping pong on a door, because they didn't have a table apparently. In addition, they were recording each of their games on camera. During one game, they threw the ball as usual, but suddenly they realized that they created a melody. And not just a random set of sounds, but the beginning of the musical theme of the famous video game Super Mario Bros. Listen, it's unmistakable. Especially if you add the original song. Getting caught in an avalanche is so scary. It's impossible to withstand the power of nature when tons of snow fall directly on you and don't stop because of someone so small. Very often, avalanches end tragically for climbers, in many cases with serious injuries and even death. But these guys, who were right on the rock during the avalanche, were very lucky. It seems that the snow decided to avoid them, pass by them and fall silently without causing them any harm. unbelievable. They will never forget that day. If you've ever bowled, you probably know that a ball that goes into the side gutter probably won't hit the pins. Well, maybe one, although you need a lot of luck. To win, you have to aim for the center and use some special secret techniques. But this girl doesn't just know all the secrets of bowling, she's also using magic outside Hogwarts. You have to admit that it's impossible to knock down all the pins when the ball goes out, but at the last moment, the ball suddenly jumps as if it were alive and knocks down all the pins. In most cases, coincidences appear to be completely random, but some appear to have been arranged. For example, this episode that took place during a Copa Libertadores match between Flamengo and Emelec quickly gained popularity on the internet. In the broadcast, Flamengo's coach, Jorge Jesus, reacted emotionally to what was happening and threw a kick in the air. No one would have paid attention to this had it not been for the virtual ball, which appeared in front of the coach's foot. The ball rolled towards the coach and split in two right when it was hit. Frankly, we didn't even immediately realize that it was a fake ball. On September 29, 2016, Rebecca Hillier, aged 10, got off the school bus with her classmates. She was on a residential road in Pickering, Ontario, very close to her home. The driver was about to start the bus, and he'd already removed the stop sign when Rebecca rushed across the street. She'd probably done it before, but that day a car was driving by her house. Oof! Oh, that was close. A little slower and the girl would have ended up under the wheels, but fortunately, the car only managed to touch her backpack a little. But the most surprising thing is that none of the participants in this almost accident violated the law, according to a local policeman. The bus driver, the car driver, and the girl all followed the rules. All they could have done was pay attention, so be careful. Skateboarding on a busy road is not a very good idea, especially when it comes to a mountain road. But in this case, what could go wrong? A few cars that take the curve slowly, the skater in the opposite lane, and incredible luck. And then more luck, because besides the car, the athlete could have easily hit one of the cyclists moving along the road. As you can see, there are people who are born lucky. Anyway, we feel sorry for the driver of the green car who almost became involved in a fatal accident, even though he was simply following the rules. A lot of people love golf, but for most people it's a pretty boring sport. There are no exciting fights, no action, no adrenaline, unless of course an alligator crawls across the field, but fortunately this doesn't happen very often. Meanwhile, even in golf you can find examples of incredible luck. It's not necessarily a fantastic shot, after which the ball immediately enters the hole from an incredible distance. Sometimes the goal is not to put the ball in the hole, but to make it land on the edge of a golf cart. And not only did it land, but it also stopped against the laws of physics. What do you imagine when you hear the words unusual catch? Maybe an octopus, an old shoe, a wallet full of money? No, the protagonist of this video caught something even stranger. The buyer was walking quietly through the store when suddenly a fish from the aquarium decided to fight a little for its freedom. And it made a dizzying jump, landing in the basket of the surprised man. The buyer had no plans to buy any fish, especially live, and was just talking on the phone. Naturally, the client had no idea what to do with the desperately moving fish in the basket. Finally, the man decided to put the fish back in the aquarium and walked away, just in case. They say that if something happens once, it's a matter of luck, but if it happens twice, that's something different. This guy tried twice to throw the ball into the middle basket, but failed. However, he ended up scoring in different baskets. Awesome! In the comments on Reddit, some people immediately suspected that it was a special structure to hit the target in any case. On the contrary, other people claim that the baskets have an oval shape, so it's almost impossible to make a round ball pass through them. In any case, nice one. All we can say about the people in this video is that they should both play Quidditch. Seriously, only the brooms are missing. No one in the magician's world has the same reflexes or the same luck. And finally, an incredible situation. You can only be so lucky once in your life. Seriously, this group of boys was playing basketball, but it was pretty late, so one of the tenants was unhappy and called the police. Law enforcement officers arrived quickly, but then something amazing happened. The basketball players managed to convince the police that if they make a half-court shot on the first attempt, they would not get a noise complaint ticket. Normally, in such a situation, your hands would shake and the ball would fly in the opposite direction, but in this case, it went straight into the ring.